Hi, it's Mike. We're going to be looking at how to flush your water heater. In this case, it's going to be a gas supplied water heater. So it is different than an electric. So today we're going to take a peek at it. I've never done it, and I hope this helps. Let's get to it. Okay, so here we are at your water heater. Water heater. Yeah, try it again. Okay, to start off, we need to understand the components of your water heater. This one is a gas water heater. So mental note there, very important. Electric will be a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip the camera. And I'm going to show you here that we have a hot and a cold. This one got red and you have blue. You can also touch one of these pipes. You'll see it's warm, and this one will be cool. So that's another way to tell if you do not have the identification on top of your water heater. So looking at here, we have a pressure relief. We'll be using this. This is also something you want to check once a year for proper operation. Once in a while though, when you check this, sometimes these won't seal again and it'll continue to leak, so be prepared to potentially have to replace that. Not a real big deal to replace, you just need a pipe wrench and it turns right off. So that drains down here, and then down here we have the drain itself. Okay, so the drain is opened by a screwdriver. Okay, so you're going to need a screwdriver, and you also need a hose to screw onto that drain. So we also have our controls for our gas water heater. Here we have this set to pilot. It's only going to allow the pilot light to stay lit, which is, it's not going to damage your water heater when you drain it. Then it'll be minimal heat. The reason you need to turn that down is because when this water gets flushed out of there, you do not want your heating element to activate without any water inside of it. You will wreck your water heater and damage it, and you'll have to replace it, and that'll be much more costly. So as far as components goes, that is it for this. Actually, I'll just mental note here, this hasn't really been filled out, but this is our service performed tracking sheet, which I plan on filling out today when I get done flushing this. So this way we can keep a running tally of what's been done. A whole lot of nothing there since, looks like 2012 potentially. So we will get to it. Step number 2, we want to connect your hose, drain hose, to the drain valve. Connect your hose to the drain valve until it is tight. Step 3, we are going to want to drain that water into a bucket, or you can also use a floor drain, or maybe the sink in the laundry area if it's in the basement. You can even run it outside. I like to put it into a bucket, I think in this case, so I can see what kind of stuff is coming out of there as far as sediment buildup. Step number 4, we're going to open that drain valve with our screwdriver. Okay, so before you do this, you're going to want to make sure that that water cools off a bit in that water heater. It can take up to 2 hours, sometimes more, depending on the size of the water heater. Why? We just don't want to burn ourselves when that water comes out. When you go to open that valve, you want to do it slowly. Step 5, we're going to want to shut the main water off that's feeding that cold water and continue to drain the water heater. Shutting off the cold water supply for the water heater involves, in this case, this shutoff being turned to form a perpendicular configuration. It actually also says on and off right on the handle. Open up a hot water spout somewhere in the house. In this case, it's in the basement at our utility sink to allow pressure to release from the system. The hose has been run from the bucket to the floor drain to drain the remainder of the water from the tank. Step 6. While we're waiting for that water heater to drain, grab a marker. Let's write down our service information. Okay, service performed. System flush. Today's date. Step 7. The faucets that you opened before, we want to close those now. Step 8. Let's close that drain valve and then we will remove our hose. Step 9, we will want to turn on our water supply to the water heater again. When you turn this on, which I already have, you will want to slowly do it a little bit at a time. It's a lot of pressure that's going to go through back into the water heater, and you don't want to overload the system. Turn it on until it's in its full parallel location. Step 10, let's turn that water heater back on. Whereas we previously had it on pilot, we will now turn that back to where it was. In this case, it is on A. Finally, go to your faucets, turn the handle slowly open just to relieve any air or pressure that's in the system. I turned this on already and air came out quite forcefully, so don't put your hand underneath there. Just turn the hot water on until water flows. Once it flows, turn it off and you're done. And that's it, I think. I don't hear anything bad going on behind me. I heard the water heater kick on. It's heating up the water that's in there right now. Water's back on, air's out of the system, and I believe any sediment that was in the bottom of this thing has now been removed. The reason I'm doing it, honestly, is because I was hearing some popping and some noises coming from the basement. I came down, it was coming directly from the water heater, and what happens is that sediment, when there's excessive amounts in there, you'll hear that. That's a symptom that it needs to be flushed, and you'll want to do what we did here. So I hope this helps. Like, subscribe, leave comments below. If you have any questions, any tips, anything you see that could be done differently, I'm all ears, always open for advice. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.